Welcome to this introductory video for the first beta of Garibaldi Express for DAZ Studio. Make sure you check out the included example hairstyles to share and remix. In this tutorial, we're going to go from a blank scene to a final hair render. In this scene, I have a Genesis figure, and I'm going to go to the Create menu and select New Garibaldi Hair. So open a dialog box. We're going to select the geometry we wish to grow our hair from. It's going to be our Genesis figure. I'm going to select that and click Accept. So we'll create a new Garibaldi node. To edit this node, I'm going to go to the Edit menu and select Edit Garibaldi Hair. This will open the Garibaldi Hair Editor window. Top of this window, we have a series of buttons to select our current workspace. I'm going to go to the first of these buttons, the Setup workspace. On the left of our screen, we have our viewport. On the right, we have a series of options. To navigate the viewport, we can click and drag the navigation buttons in the top right of our viewport. Alternatively, we can press the Alt button on our keyboard and click and drag the left, middle and right buttons of our mouse. In the Setup workspace, we're going to select which surfaces we wish to grow our hair from. I'm going to select the head and the face. Next, I'm going to switch to the Paint workspace. This will show the surfaces I'd previously selected on the left, and on the right a series of options. First, we have options to manage our texture maps, to change paintbrush settings and viewport preview settings. As default, Garibaldi will create a hair density texture map. This will tell Garibaldi where to place our hair on the surface. I'm going to simply click and drag on our surface to specify where I wish to grow my hair. Next, I'm going to switch to our distribution workspace. Our viewport preview now changes, and the options in our setting panels now change. We have options to change the distribution of our follicles, the widths of our hair strands, the colour of our hair strands, more advanced colour settings, and options to change our viewport preview. I go in and I can quickly change the amount of hair follicles we distribute. We can change texture map. As default, the texture map we previously edited will be selected. We can edit the width options of our hair strands. As default, Garibaldi will show our hair using a fast preview. We can switch to a more higher quality preview by selecting Show Hairs as Mesh. This will let us preview the exact widths of our hairs. Next, we have our colour settings. To show the actual colour settings, we need to deselect Use Preview Hair Colour. And we can go in and specify any colour we wish for our hair. Next, we're going to switch to our Style workspace. Our Style viewport now shows our styling curves. These styling curves are used to set the direction and length of our hair strands. In our Settings panel, we have a series of interactive tools, the settings for the currently selected tool, the ability to create and recall curve selection lists, a series of more advanced interpolation options, and our viewport preview options. Our first tool is a curve selection tool, which lets us isolate which curves we wish to apply curve edits to. We can click and drag and use the Shift key to do additional selections. Our next tool lets us edit control points of our styling curves for exact edits. Our next tool is our comb brush tool. We can simply click and drag to edit our curves. As default, the curve lengths will be retained. If we change our setting, we can quickly stretch our curves to any desired length. Any additional control points will be automatically added. Finally, in this row, we have our cut brush tool. We can simply click and drag in the viewport to set the length of our styling curves to a desired amount. In the next row of our tools, we have simple value-based tools, which are our scale tool. Simply click and drag our slider, or click and drag in our viewport to change the input value. The next tool is our extend tool. This can be used to extend our styling curves as well as retract them to a shorter length. The next tool is our curling tool. This can be used to quickly add shape to our style curves. And finally, we have our surface attract tool, where we can attract our styling curves to the surface of our character, or alternatively make them straighter. If we wish to view our edits interactively, we can click on Show Hair in our viewport preview settings, and as we edit our styling curves, we can see the resulted interpolation of our hair strands. Next, we're going to switch to our clumping workspace. Here we have two clumping deformers and additional viewport preview settings. I'm going to edit the setting to show 100% of our curves and switch to show hairs as mesh for a higher quality preview. Clumping in Garibaldi is where our hair strands are attracted to a central point, creating a clumping look. If I turn up the strength of the first clumping deformer, you'll be able to see the effect this creates. As well as changing the strength, I can change the amount of clumps, and I can change if the clumping happens towards the tip of the strand or to the base of the strand. The next clumping deformer will be applied after the first. This is useful to add fine detail to your hairstyle. Finally, we're going to switch to the tweak workspace. Here we have a new set of deformers. We have a random length deformer, two scraggle deformers, a frizz deformer, and our viewport preview settings. I'm going to turn up my preview settings to full. And if I change our maximum length in our random length deformer, you'll see as I increase it, the amount of random length in our hair will increase. Next is our scraggle deformers. These are random noise deformers which can be applied to a multitude of different areas of our hairstyle. I can select clump curves too. As I increase the strength, you'll notice how more noise will be applied to our hairstyle. If I change the base frequency, you can have loose and wavy noise, or tight and detailed noise. For our second scraggle noise deformer, I'm going to select before clump 2 and add even more detail to our hairstyle. Last deformer is our frizz deformer. This adds very simple random high frequency noise. This is useful in very small amounts to break up the very smooth nature of our hair curves. That concludes using the Garibaldi editor. Click Accept and move back to our DAZ Studio window. So now we can apply any animation or edits to our underlying geometry and our hair will automatically update. And where rendered, we'll create seamless flicker-free animation. And I go in and zoom to better camera positioning. And I'm going to click render. Garibaldi will automatically apply its high quality hair shader and you'll get a result like this, which looks okay but is quite flat. I go in and merge some lights I made previously. This is a simple 3-point light setup. I'm going to go and click render. It is recommended that you use deep shadow maps with your lights. This technique was originally developed by Pixar especially for geometry such as hair, so it's ideally placed for our rendering here. Now we've added shadows and lights, we get a more interesting looking image. That concludes this tutorial and I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to Garibaldi Express for DAZ Studio.